Hello. Good afternoon. It's good to see you again. Probably the last time this month. Um, First, I read to you a statement by the Security Council on Sudan, South Sudan. The members of the Security Council applaud the agreements reached by the presidents of Sudan and South Sudan in Addis Ababa, September 27th. The members of the Council warmly congratulate the leaders and negotiators on both sides for demonstrating courageous leadership to find durable solutions to the challenging disputes that divided them. These agreements represent a major breakthrough for the establishment of peace, stability, and prosperity in both Sudan and South Sudan, and give cause for genuine hope that the peoples of these two countries will realize the fruits of lasting peace and friendship. The members of the Security Council underline the critical importance of immediate and full implementation of the agreements reached between Sudan and South Sudan, as well as the need for continued hard work by all relevant parties to resolve the details and outstanding issues that remain to be agreed. The members of the Council urged the rapid resolution by the parties of the issues of the final status of Abyei and disputed and claimed areas. The members of the Council look forward to President Mbeki's recommendations on these matters after he reports to the African Union Peace and Security Council and to the report of the Secretary General. The members of the Security Council reiterate their grave concern about the rapidly worsening humanitarian situation in South Kordofan and Blue Nile states of Sudan. They once again strongly urge the government of Sudan and the SPLM North to fully and faithfully implement the Memoranda of Understanding and tripartite plan to expedite the unhindered delivery of humanitarian assistance to the affected civilian populations as rapidly as possible. They urge the parties to engage in direct talks to urgently agree to and implement a cessation of hostilities and create a conducive environment for further progress on political and security issues. The members of the Security Council extend warm thanks and congratulations to former President Thabo Mbeki of South Africa, former President Pierre Buyoya of Burundi, and former President Abdul Salami Al-Hajj Abubakar of Nigeria, and the staff of the AU High Implementation Panel, as well as UN Special Envoy Haile Menkeryos and his support team for their creative and tireless work in mediating these agreements. They also gratefully acknowledge the central contributions of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development and of the Ethiopian government, in particular that of the late Prime Minister Meles Zenawi and of new Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn in assisting Sudan and South Sudan in reaching this outcome. The dedicated perseverance of all these contributors is a tribute to international and regional diplomacy and exemplifies the true spirit of peace enshrined in the United Nations Charter. This was number one. We have a second statement of the Security Council that I read to you. It is on Yemen. Statement on Friends of Yemen. The members of the Security Council welcomed the 27 September 2012 Friends of Yemen ministerial meeting, as well as its co-chair's statement, and commended the substantial progress made by the government of Yemen in implementing the transition agreement. They also reaffirmed their commitment to the territorial integrity, sovereignty, and unity of Yemen. The members of the Security Council reiterated their support for Yemen in its effort to reach key milestones in the implementation plan, including the upcoming National Dialogue Conference, adoption of the Transitional Justice Law, setting up of a new electoral commission, and ongoing security sector reform. They called upon all parties to continue to honor the timetable set out in the agreement and for all sides to act in a transparent, peaceful, inclusive, and timely manner, and in a spirit of reconciliation. The members of the Security Council re-emphasized the importance of conducting a fully inclusive, participatory, transparent, and meaningful national dialogue conference, including with youth and women's groups, and called upon all stakeholders in Yemen to participate actively and constructively in this process. They welcomed the continued engagement of the good offices of the Secretary General and his Special Advisor Jamal Ben Omar in support of this process. The members of the Security Council urged all the parties in Yemen to reject acts of violence, to achieve political goals, to refrain from provocations, and to abide by Security Council Resolutions 2014 and 2051. They expressed increasing concern about efforts to undermine the national unity government as it endeavors to implement the political transition agreement, and reiterated their readiness to consider further measures, including under Article 41 of the UN Charter, if such actions continued. They repeated their call that all those responsible for human rights violations and abuses must be held accountable. The members of the Security Council welcomed the more than $7 billion pledged at the Riyadh Donor Conference, as well as the Friends of Yemen meeting and the Government of Yemen's agreement to a mutual accountability framework, setting out commitments from the government and donors to ensure that these additional resources deliver support to Yemen's people. They reiterated their grave concern at the humanitarian situation in Yemen, including severe food insecurity, alarming levels of malnutrition, and increasing numbers of internally displaced persons. They also reiterated that all parties should ensure safe and unhindered humanitarian access. That's the end of the second statement on Yemen.
Yeah, sure, on Sudan. Maybe one on Yemen too, but mostly on Sudan. I wanted to know, on the unresolved Abyei issues, does the UN or the UN Security Council, do they have a role in trying to address this? I've heard some people say it's entirely up to the African Union PSC to appoint a commissioner. Is it your understanding as Council President under 2046 and otherwise that the UN itself, are you going to review this recommendation? Is there some ongoing role for the Council or not?
Today welcomed and congratulated those who contributed to the agreement reached in the previous days. And we all know that this is not a fully comprehensive agreement, that there are some outstanding issues. The Council will meet again on Sudan. The exact date has not yet been fixed, but we have regular intervals at which we discuss Sudan and South Sudan, and we know more at the beginning of next week when the Guatemalan presidency sets out the program of work, but it will be roughly 14 days after the last consultations we had, and once again Haile Menkerios will brief us on let's say the importance of the agreement reached and the outstanding issues that still have to be resolved. And of course the Council will surely remain seized and will want to monitor the progress on the outstanding issues. But what we expressed in warm words today was the major breakthrough that was achieved over the last days, and the two leaders that and the negotiators, of course, that contributed to that.
Sir, speaking in your capacity as a representative of Germany, what do you make of the progress of the Friends of Syria meeting? What's its tone? Could you speak about that a bit?
Look, my mandate today is to speak about the two press statements and related issues, and let's speak about Syria some other day. But this brief stakeout is devoted to Syria. It's not devoted to Syria, but to Sudan, South Sudan, and to Yemen. Thank you.